Our voters in the Brisbane electorate of Griffith will head back to the polls tomorrow for an unusually high-profile by-election. The contest has attracted national attention after former Prime Minister Kevin Rudd stepped down from that seat and from Parliament late last year. Dr Bill Glasson is the LNP's candidate. He's running for a second time. He joins us now from the Brisbane suburb of Bulimba. Bill Glasson, great to speak to you again. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Michael, and good morning to your listeners.
How confident are you heading into tomorrow's by-election?
Oh, Michael, it's a tough one. As you know, by-elections, given the fact that incumbent governments struggle in by-elections. Obviously, I'm the underdog. It's for Labor to lose and it's for myself to win. But we've worked hard and we've been out in the streets. We've been on really about 14 months now. We've been working hard, so we just continued to chip away, and hopefully tomorrow we can at least perform well. And I'd certainly love to be the new member for Griffith.
It'll be a close contest. Do you fully expect the result to come down to preferences tomorrow night?
Yeah, Michael, I think it will. Obviously, given the nature of Griffith, I think it'll be the decision will be judged essentially on preferences, and so that's why I've been working hard with the message that whoever you put as number two, if you're going to put a minor party as number one, so be it. But whoever you put it as number two, then that will essentially decide if it's going to be Bill Glasson or my Labor opponent as the next member for Griffith.
What do you see as the key issues in this by-election campaign?
Look, the key issue certainly is jobs. It costs jobs in terms of our small businesses, and that's about red tape and regulation. There's no two ways about it. Cost of living, and that's why we're pushing the issue about Mr Shorten supporting the abolition of the carbon tax. Aged care is another big one in our sector, keeping people in the home longer, and certainly the cost of childcare is an issue that we're taking forward. We have lots of young families where the cost of childcare is significant, so we're pushing those issues hard as well. And as also, Michael, we're going to establish the first children's hospice in Brisbane at St Vincent's Hospital, and so this is a facility for dying children. And again, this is something we're going to push very hard.
And speaking of costs and speaking of health, you attracted some unwanted attention within your own party by earlier in the campaign, Bill Glasson supporting that proposal for a $6 Medicare co-payment. Do you stand by that view?
Michael, there is no plan. I reiterate, there's no plan by the current LNP government to introduce a co-payment on bulk billing, and that position will stand. And so, I certainly will not speculate on speculation, because at this stage there is no plan to introduce a co-payment on bulk billing.
Do you see it as a good idea, though?
No, I don't think it's a good idea. I think at the end of the day, we've got to look at ensuring we've got affordable and available health care to make sure that the sickest in our community and the poorest in our community are covered. And so I'm a great advocate for bulk billing. I'm a great advocate for Medicare. And that's demonstrated in the past, where I, with Tony Abbott, when I was the AMO president, made sure we increased bulk billing rates across Australia by injecting further funds into Medicare and supporting Medicare in the long term.
I want to speak about your time as AMA president. That, of course, is the Industrial Association for Doctors, and you have come out in support of Paul Howe's quite bold comments this week where he's basically described the industrial relations system as a blood sport between employers and workers, and he wants a much more conciliatory tone. He essentially wants both sides to act as grown-ups. What do you see as good about what Paul Howe's had to say?
Well, I think that at the end of the day, Michael, we need good unions. We need unions that are not corrupt. I think the bullying and the allegations of misbehaviour, I suppose, across the unions is not acceptable. So I think everybody needs to put Australia first and Australians first. So for the employers and employees, it's time to sit down and maturely decide how we can actually increase productivity in this country. And this is the real issue with Australia, is that we're not competing with the rest of the world. And so unless we increase our productivity, we as a nation will continue to go backwards. So I implore people on both sides, employers and employees, at a local level, that's the important thing, at the workplace, sitting down and working out what's in the best interest of the business, what's in the best interest of the employers and employees as well.
The former Prime Minister Kevin Rudd, who held that seat for so many years, of course, had a quite sizable personal vote. Are you of the view, and that of course is now up for grabs, are you of the view, Bill Glasson, that you're more likely to get that by dint of you're more familiar with the voters there, given this is your second time running for this seat?
Yeah, I mean, I remind the people of Griffith that we're having this by-election because Mr Rudd promised to serve the full term and didn't. And I think there's a lot of people feeling upset about both the fact we are having a by-election, the cost of that by-election. But no, I'm appealing to that group that voted for Mr Rudd to come with me on this journey. I believe I can be their strong voice in the current federal parliament and be a voice of influence, because obviously I'll be part of the team that is in power. And I remind people, on Sunday after the election, Tony Abbott will still be the Prime Minister and Bill Shorten will still be the opposition leader. But it's actually who can actually influence the parliament of the day. And I feel that I have the experience, I have the life experience, the business experience to be that voice in Canberra for the people of Griffith.
Bill Glasson, good luck tomorrow. Thanks for your time this morning.
Thanks very much indeed, and good morning to listeners.